here. Assalamu alaikum, merry meet, and welcome back to your daily dose of DragonFaether. Today we're here for some dinner and some dragon readings. So I have some, whoop, my napkin's stuck. I have some soup here. We have minestrone soup. It's so good. It's from Whole Foods. If you have not had it, you need to try it. I added teensy bit of lemon pepper in it. It's so good. Let me know on YouTube if you can hear me. Whoa, live from the past? What do you mean? What's going on? YouTube sometimes is just out of control with all of that. But anyway, oh, look at your horns. Thank you so much. That's so nice of you. Yes, my friends, we are about to get into it. I also have a drink with me. I am drinking Arizona. It's the best, okay? Don't you guys know? It's the best. Oh my goodness. Welcome, Canes and Crossroads, back to your daily dose of DragonFaether. Super glad to have you guys here. So grab your drink, grab your snack, whatever you'd like, and we're going to have a little bit of dinner while we kind of gather around here. But think about your questions, okay? Because if you have questions today, we're going to break out the cards and it's going to be free. It's going to be free. So, you all you need is a question. That's all it counts. So think of your question, all right? And cheers, my friends. Every Arizona is just phenomenal. I hope you guys are doing so well. It's been a while since we've been able to live stream. Unfortunately, been just dealing with too many like health issues. Like, okay, chill. But we're feeling better today, and some of the meds has been working, so I'm really excited that I have some energy for, it feels like once in a week. But we are super excited because at the end of the stream, stay tuned, because we have a package from HATCHLING that will be opening here at the end of the stream. So that's pretty exciting. I'm super excited. But yeah, so I hope you guys are doing well. I have, let's see, where is the deck that I was most excited to use today? It's this one. Yeah, here we go. I knew it was here. So this is the deck that I really wanted to talk about today. It's one of my absolute favorites. If you guys haven't heard of it, it's called the Fairy Wisdom Oracle deck and book set by Amy Brown and written by Nancy Brown. This is such a beautiful deck. I'm about to break out the cards and show you some of them, but this one will be the main deck that we're reading from today, so I can get some practice as it is a new deck and I want to kind of get into the swing of how to use it. And so thank you guys so much for letting me read for you guys for free today, because it is how we like to kind of get back in touch with a new deck, especially sometimes if it's our first time using it. So hey Rachel, welcome back to your daily dose of DragonFaether over on YouTube. We are just gonna have some of this food. Hold on, I'm just gonna take a little quick sip. Oh, it's delicious. Truly the best soup ever had. I have ever had, okay? So this is one of my favorite like decks I've ever had. The book is stunning. We have just like this little fairy girl on it, so cute, and then the back has like the horseshoes, which is really cool as well, which mimics the color of the card. But you have a black and white book, but the full art is on the page, and it's actually really easy to just flip through and very user-friendly. Really good book to use for beginners. And then we have the cards, which are just absolutely stunning. This is what the back looks like, with the butterfly and the flowers and the horseshoes. I think it's really, really nice. And there's really, okay, so here's my favorite part about this deck. The reason why I got this deck is because it gives like super Dragon Fae energy, right? So we have dragons in here, right? We have dragons in here, but we have fairies in here. But we also have like mermaids in here, and there's like mermaids in here that have like fairy wings too, which is like, again, just like premium like Dragon Fae, right? So that's why I just couldn't resist this deck. It's genuinely one of the most beautiful decks I own. It genuinely is fighting for my #1 favorite deck spot right now, which is saying something because Oracle of the Dragon Fae literally changed my life and my name. So this is the Phoenix card. It is just absolutely stunning. So definitely always recommend this deck. It's just so beautiful and so well thought out. And I personally prefer Oracle decks. Do you guys prefer Oracle decks? I prefer Oracle decks. I just think they're better for like, I guess like getting really deep messages. I've just had that experience where I find that it's a little bit better that way. But your mermaid hair is so pretty. Oh, thank you. That's so sweet, Miss Storm. If you guys have questions for a reading, just leave them in chat and I will start pulling cards. But I'm going to have another bite of my soup, and then I was going to pull a card for the collective before we go. And there's a quick disclaimer too, so just 1 second. Okay. So here's the disclaimer before I pull the card first for everybody. These readings that I do in no way, shape, or form are like supernatural. I am simply going to be reading the cards' symbolism for you, what their imagery means, what that provokes for self-reflection. This is, again, for legal purposes, for entertainment purposes only, okay? I'm not responsible for any actions anyone takes for my readings. However, they are for self-reflection, for remembrance, and for the deconstruction of symbolism. So if that sounds like something that you're interested in, stay tuned. It is a little bit different than most people's readings, so that's totally okay. I just like offering something that's a little unique and a little bit different for those who may not like the same type of reading that everybody does. So with that out of the way, we're going to jump into the first card that we're going to pull for the collective. Angela, oh my goodness, it's so good to see you, darling. Welcome back to your daily dose of DragonFaether. Blessings, hatchlings, and Azura bless all of you. May you be blessed with hordes of good vibes. Blessings to you. Amen. Amen, sister. That's so sweet. I love that message. But I think we got a question here. Jenny Boo, welcome to your daily dose of DragonFaether. Jenny asks, does M think of me? I am not sure, but let's see what the cards have to say. So here we go, my friends. What does M think of me? Let's see. Ooh, this is a good one. So we're just going to go off the symbolism here. We have Tooth Fairy for you, Miss Jenny Boo. This is one of my absolute favorite cards, and the reason why is because look at the way that she's like balancing herself, okay? And the name of the card is Tooth Fairy, by the way. She is balancing on what looks like a broken dragon tooth. And of course, this is one of my favorite cards, okay? So the symbolism of this, what does M think of you? Well, sweet. This is giving, doesn't know what to think of you, because this symbolism really tells us that this woman is covered in tattoos. She has a very beautiful white colored hair. There's this gorgeous full moon behind her, and her hands are like spread out and open like this. At her side, very much a commanding control, very much in your own energy. And the bouncing on the broken tooth, well, this could mean you look scary, but I'm attracted. I adore you, but something is keeping me back, right? Like this type of like woman, right? The one who's tattooed, the one who has wild hair, the one who has absolutely mystical ways she carries her body, right? This is so important for who you are and being in our truth, if that makes sense. When you are in your truth, when you do just focus on you, and this is the secret, my friends, when we focus on maintaining our balance on the broken dragon tooth in our power, that is when it doesn't really matter what people think about us, because we command attention. Who do you have to become to command attention? Who do you have to become to embody the version of you that feels best? Because it's not about what people think of us at the end of the day. It's about what we think of ourselves, as within, so without. And if you do not think that balancing your image of yourself in your mind, no matter on how many piles of broken bones you have to balance yourself on, this is what's actually the most important thing. We, especially if you are a woman or if you are part of the LGBTQ community or like feminine presenting, the feminine energy is something that we shy away from often. Why is this? Because we have never truly seen a sovereign feminine. We don't know where to reach. We don't know where to look. We don't know how to embody that. And so we get shaky. We look elsewhere to be validated for that. When the truth is, you be her. No, let me tell you something. Before I do my lives, I give myself a pep talk and I talk to God before I do my readings or my live streams, right? And today, what I asked God to really help me focus on was how I don't care where anyone else is in the world right now. I don't care what they're doing. I don't care if they think they're having a better time than me. No. I've decided we need to decide that we are the party. We are the VIP table. No, you're so absolutely rare that they have to literally prove they have to show their wristband before they get to come back and talk to you, okay, Jenny Boo? Is this person M? Now I'm gonna flip the question on you, okay? Is this person M worth your time thinking? When you look at it objectively, take your feelings out of it. Do you feel loved? Do you feel adored? Do you feel like you're chasing for more? Do they tend your needs? Do they need you to tend theirs? Like, that is what it means to be a family. I've only been married for about a year, but let me tell you something. The second that I decided to stop being concerned with what every single thing my husband was doing, and I just focused on cultivating my energy and making myself feel good and making myself proud and making myself excited to be alive again, that's when everything changed. Do you know what I mean? That's when everything changed in my life for me. And this is what I always like to share with people who ask about relationship questions, because I've done it all, okay? And I've nearly lost my life trying to do it all in that whole search for love. And it's always a mistake to wonder about what other people think of you, because they'll let you know. They'll let you know, okay? So thank you so much for letting me read for you. I absolutely loved it. But I do think I did skip my reading for the collective. Fail. The soup was that good, guys. Thank you so much, Jenny. I'm glad I could read for you tonight. But let's just do a quick one, okay? Let's just do a quick one for everybody in this chat here on YouTube and TikTok, because we are streaming on both platforms today. But let's see. What do the dragons have for us? What should we be focusing on, my loves? Oh, I told myself I wasn't gonna cry, but I don't know, man. After pulling this for the collective, I don't know, man. So here we go, Dragon Collective. This is for you. Oh my gosh, it's literally, I'm gonna cry. It's literally called The Birth of Magic. Look at that. And look, there's an eggshell. It's a little hatchling. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna cry. It's such a beautiful card. Oh my goodness. Sugar dumpling. Lisa, my love. Oh my gosh, if you do not know. Everybody fucking stop. If you do not know who Lisa Makes It on TikTok is, she found me when I was not doing good. And she is one of the people who helped me come back. Thank you, Lisa. No, I do that. I do that shit on this page. I'm gonna cry for you, baby girl. We're too tired. I'm sick and tired of us hiding our emotions. I love you guys, okay? I just pulled this card for the collective, by the way. The Birth of Magic. This is what the dragons want us to focus on, Dragon Collective. I love you so much. I see you too. Thank you so much for all of your support. Definitely follow her on TikTok. She makes some amazing content, okay? I laugh all the time on her page. But anyway, The Birth of Magic, okay? For those of you guys who don't know, I've been working my whole life to see if magic was real, especially when it came to the dragons. You see, when I got these little books as a kid, this one, the Dragonology book, and this one, okay, these might be fantasy books for children, all right, my loves? But let me tell you a secret. There are some hidden gems of real mythology in these books. There are. Okay? And when I saw the world map within the Dragonology books, I realized dragons weren't just European. Dragons weren't just from Asia. My goodness, they were everywhere. Do you know what I mean? I have the red one. Yes! The Dragonology books are premium. Absolutely premium. I have been doing readings on here too for like 2 days with my fairy oracle. No way, broski. Like this is a... I'm using actually the Fairy Wisdom Oracle. That's what it's called. That's so trippy, dude. Here, this is what... Where's the box? Here's... No? The box. The box. It's such a good one. It's called the Fairy Wisdom Oracle by Amy Brown. Premium technology. Okay. So with the birth of magic, my whole life I've been trying to see, is magic real? Okay? Is magic real? And I can tell you, magic is absolutely real, okay? And it's a huge fucking responsibility, okay? This is not something that you should play with. This is not something you should take lightly. This is not something you should scroll for 30 minutes, find something and try it immediately. This is something that back in my day, when I was literally like super tiny, like I'm talking about like 5, okay, we had to read books, okay? That is how it had to happen. And we had to take that time and then make notes and sometimes get a library card to see more books, okay? So I really just want to encourage everybody who wants to study dragons, who wants to study mythology, who wants to study witchcraft, who wants to study religion or spirituality, insert anything, okay? Please take your time. You can't rush birth. When you rush birth, we die. Yeah? You just, no, okay? People get hurt that way, right? You have to let it take its time. There are Dragonology dragon plushies. Yes, I almost have all of them, actually, working on my collection. But when it comes to birthing magic, you have to take your time to find your path. I have been practicing paganism for 20 years until I found that Islam was what was right for me. That doesn't just invalidate my 20 years of paganism. That doesn't just invalidate my Islam. It's a choice, right? This is why I tell people, I don't stand for the truth, I stand for religious freedom. I stand for the right for you and for me, for you and for me to believe in whatever we want to believe in with our free will, as long as it doesn't impose or harm others or ourselves. That's it. That's it. That is the TED Talk every time. Okay, because when it comes to this life, you always have a choice. And it can never be true devotion, true worship, true faith if you don't have the choice to choose wrong. If you don't have the choice to mess it up, to make mistakes. Yes, I am Muslim. And I use tarot cards to inspire myself to tell stories for you, when before I used to use them to tell fortunes. Allahu Akbar. I'm a little geeky, cheeky, and freaky. I look really strange. Okay? No, I converted. I converted very recently. And in my life journey, which I was just talking about because I was pagan for 20 years, all of that I went through, every single faith I could find. I love theology. I love mythology. I love human culture and practice and faith and belief. It's creative. It's so magical. I had to learn it all. And it's so beautiful because the way my journey ended up is, hey, when I birthed my magic, I birthed my magic through walking through everything to realize that I was the magic the whole time, that my heart beating in my chest was the spell. And as long as I have the lungs to breathe, right? As long as I have the ability, right, to function and make a choice, that is powerful. That is the magic, guys. People forget they have free will. That is the magic. And you realize, okay? You realize something when you go through rock bottom and everything's on the line, including your faith. That is when you birth your magic. Don't be afraid. You can't be afraid. You can cry, but you can't quit, okay? That is the power. You see, my dragon guardians, they tell me real dragons are not afraid to cry. Because crying is alchemy. It's real. It's good for your body, actually, when you allow yourself to cry. When you allow yourself to express yourself the way that you want to. People don't understand me because I look weird and I look like I don't belong wherever I go. That is not my problem. It becomes my problem when I change myself for anyone else's comfort, because God didn't make mistakes when he created me. Just like he didn't make mistakes when he created you or you. Anyone. Nobody is a mistake. Our creation was not a mistake. We choose to make mistakes. We choose to make mistakes. Okay? And that is what I try to share the most, because I don't see people talking about it on their For You pages, because it's not easy to get a hook with people telling you to, hey, do the tough shit that you're trying to avoid while scrolling on this app. You know? Because you have to sit in that darkness. When you are in the egg, before you hatch, it is dark. It is tight. It is suffocating. You ultimately have to decide when to break out, if that makes sense. So that's the reading that I got for the collective to start. Respectfully, because I'm curious, you think dragons are real or like spirits? This is a good question. So I'm going to have some dinner to answer this one. And then we will jump back onto YouTube for the next question, because we took our first one from TikTok. So, okay. I am going to preface this with saying my whole thing is about religious freedom, okay? I'm not here to preach the truth thing to you, okay? I don't know what's true for you, bestie. I know what's true for me, though, okay? And I would not have found what's true for me without choice, okay? That's the whole point. We need to have free and safe choice, okay? It's called religious freedom. It's a human right. There's no compulsion in religion, okay? With that being said, my beliefs don't invalidate yours and yours don't invalidate mine. They're just different perspectives, different points of view. So when I was practicing pagan, like more polytheistic, right? With dragons as spirits, yes, I believed they were spirits. But let me tell you something. Dragons are shapeshifters, and you will look inside mythology, you'll look inside fantasy, you'll look anywhere that you can find a dragon, a serpent, or a mythical beast that's like made up of a bunch of other beasts. What you're gonna find is that they are quite the wild card when it comes to abilities, okay? So here's the thing. I believe dragons can genuinely almost do anything, all right? And it's because we have different perspectives of them throughout all of cultural history. And this has come from my study of how different cultures view dragons or serpents, or, like I said, like beasts that are like a hybrid, right? So, with that being said, here's the deal. And people don't like it when I say this. And hey, that's not my problem. This is just my life. So I'm just going to be honest because that's all I've ever done. When I knew in my heart that I was Muslim, I didn't understand how the dragons were going to fit into that. Okay? And so when I first started exploring that, I initially thought they were jinn because I am coming from about the absolute opposite perspective as you possibly could when studying Islam and learning about it. And for a while, I was really doing my best, okay? And then I got an amazing Quran teacher, and alhamdulillah, she helps me so very much to understand. There are many different perspectives, but the way that I work with my dragons have been always like to help my mental health. They've always been there to help guide me, to help protect me, in the sense of I grew up in really abusive, really not so good environments, and I was often left alone a lot. And because of this, well, I was trying my best to survive, and sometimes I got hurt really bad, and we're going to doctors about it. It's like that kind of bad. But I digress. One thing that I've learned walking the draconic path and practicing dragon magic is that it is different from any other kind in the sense that the dragons shapeshift and change with you. Different, right? They're different depending on who you interact with. You try to look up the definition of a dragon, and even when you go to the root of the words, we see in Greek, drakon means to see clearly, one with a piercing gaze. So you tell me, what is a dragon, honestly? Because everyone I meet, they tell me it's something different. And when I took my shahada, my dragons shapeshifted into guardians of my heart. And now I feel more grounded. And they've always visited me in my dreams, which is something that I'm not really in control of. And so I see the dragons as miracles and signs of God. That's how I see the world. And the way I see the world, I want everyone to know I would never, ever, ever, ever force that belief on anyone because of how sacred and precious it has taken me to find how I see the world. It's taken me 3 decades to find how I see the world. And it's just a journey that I see the mercy and free will rather than, okay, every day at 5 a.m., wake up, bow down. Like that is not merciful God. So this is where I come from in my personal practice, but hey, everyone's different, and I am not here to judge anyone. That is literally not my job. So I'm just here to offer some reflection and some recalling of memories and experience and mythology and wisdom that are prompted by the cards we draw. And it is what it is, we're all different and unique, I just pulled Nightlight. I think this is a really pretty card. It is number 48. It is a little fairy sleeping. She's so cute. Oh my goodness. And I just felt, I like shuffling cards as well. Like when I get nervous sometimes, this is something I did a lot in school, but I used this deck in school because guess what? This is Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I read with Yu-Gi-Oh cards too. But I would like shuffle sometimes if I was like anxious in school, and that's really how it all started, right? So forever, I've had just love of cards. But before I had like a tarot or oracle card collection, I was always shuffling. And sometimes I just find myself pulling cards and reading them that way. And the Nightlight, when we really find ourselves laying in the dark, barely lit, barely illuminated, from just everything we've been through. Sometimes we crash and burn, as my dad would call it. And when you crash and burn, you have to recover. Because if you don't recover, well, you're not going to do well. You know, so it's important to take your time to sit in the night by the light and rest. Like, because when we don't rest, we regret it. Or you will regret it eventually. You know, you're gonna have to crash eventually. So, I think that was a good little mini message. But let's go see what's going on in this YouTube. This YouTube chat, my friends. We have, let's see, everybody's been chatting, want to make sure. Who was first? Let's see, it looks like Angela was first. So it says, can I get a general card pull if you've got time? Gosh, the card art is so pretty. Yes, dude, I know. It is so gorgeous, but yes. Let's just do a general pull for Angela. Which, by the way, thank you so much for all of your kind messages. They're literally so sweet and so uplifting. Okay, ooh, we have Winter. Winter is such a beautiful card. I just love this deck so very much. Well, Winter, we have a fairy who's at like this gateway of branches. This is actually really fascinating. With the full moon behind her. And she is in a long black dress with white hair, and she has a little white fur around her waist. But it's really fascinating because my initial thought when I look at the art of this card is that this fairy is in the fairy realm, almost getting ready to step into our realm from one of those gateways of branches we see in the forest. Ooh, you had many flurries outside your house earlier today. Ooh, that's amazing. Sometimes I know in my own personal practice, I see the dragons and the fairies and the unicorns and the mermaids in the flashes of the elements. You know, this is something that I've just always experienced when I looked at nature, or looked at the clouds, or looked at, you know, the snow, like the flurries, anything like that. That is what I've noticed the most, is them hiding within the natural elements. Like the first fairy that I ever really saw was an incense smoke. It like went really quickly. And everybody can, you know, kind of debate on what they really saw. But when it comes to the practice, when it comes to the biology, when it comes to the psychology of this experience, it's about how you feel, actually. It's about how it matters in the brain and the body when these things happen. Sometimes these things scare people, actually. And so that actually becomes traumatic. There are real people out there who are scared of dragons and scared of fairies, okay, guys? Like, that's something we have to just understand, okay? But when it comes to this card, it looks like a cold threshold, but out in the wilderness. Don't be afraid of it. When we are afraid, because I know me, when I get afraid to go outside when it's too cold, I miss making memories. I miss making memories. You know, and I don't want to miss making memories if I can avoid that. Life is short. Do you really want to just sit in bed and watch the flurries from outside? Because if you can get outside, some people can't. Some people would literally, quite literally die for that. They would try any procedure to try for that. You know, don't forget to take your steps outside sometimes, even when it's cold, even when it's treacherous, even when you're afraid. You know, stepping through thresholds, the symbolism of this, or like going from one realm to the next through like a doorway, it's very powerful symbolism. It represents huge changes, huge transformations, almost complete sudden life-changing shifts. you know? And oftentimes the winter time is supposed to be the time that we reflect about that. The world we live in makes us constantly take action, and we have no rest or reflection, which is a huge reason why I make sure my readings are for reflection purposes only. You know? My hat is really cozy. Thank you, Infinite Ease. Welcome to your daily dose of DragonFaether. But this is something I want to just like remind people, especially you, Angela, because stepping through those doorways can be very scary, especially if we've always done it one way before. And it's a huge choice to make, you know, and you see it in the movies too, right? You know, the movies where there is some sort of mystical portal or gateway that brings you into a different realm or a different experience. There's this huge buildup of like touching it and like barely sticking your finger through it or putting your eyes through it and something happens. So there's that anxiety, and it just represents the unknown. Oh, thank you so much for the heart. But that's kind of what I want to emphasize, because it's a huge time for us to ask ourselves, especially because we're still in wintertime. I consider February wintertime in my like practice, I guess. But this is a time to truly get ready. We're almost thawed out of winter. The ice is almost melted. The ice is almost melted. And in that period of time, right before the thaw breaks, right before the ice melts away, there's this huge buildup of anticipation, like we were talking about. This anticipation you have to push through, or you'll never be born anew in the springtime. That's part of what winter is all about. Take your time to reflect. Take your time to think about what you see and how you see it. The thawing winter, I call it. Exactly, the Aquarian dragon. See, you get it. You know, so thank you so much for letting me read for you, Angela. I absolutely love that card. It has such gorgeous art. I think we might just be sticking with this deck the entire night. It's just like really a good one. I'm just so in love with it. The Warming Winter. Ooh, I like that one too. That's a good one as well. Your hair is so lovely. You're so sweet. Thank you. This resonates so much with me. It's making me happy cry. Yay, Angela. I'm so glad that the reading resonated with you. But we are going to jump back on over to the TikTok world for our next question. Let's see. Oh, thank you so much for the follow, Angel Aura. Let's see. I know I saw a question, but let's see. If anyone's in the chat, just drop a question, because I'm not seeing any right now, but let me know, my friends. All you need is a question in the chat, and I will pull a card for you for free. I will take a bite of the soup. Hey, hun, could you get a card, please? Yes, of course. Let's do it. I'm going to take a bite of this soup. Absolute 10 out of 10. Who knew? Who knew minestrone soup could really hit the spot? But from Whole Foods, it really do be doing that. It really do be doing that. The soup is minestrone soup from Whole Foods, and I add a little bit of lemon pepper in it. Oh my goodness, it's so good. But let's get a card for Miss Rin here, my darling. And we are going to be opening the package at the end of the stream. After probably about 90 minutes or 2 hours. We're just kind of chilling. We're not in really a hurry tonight, guys. We're locked in. We are hanging out with that soup for dinner in the winter time. You know, that's something that I've been really trying to like focus on, you know, is like really being slow, like, and slowing down in the winter time. And focus on being warm and cozy and clean. Like, that has been something that has really helped my nervous system, to be honest. So, yeah, me too. Okay, we're ready. Let's do this one. And the card we have for you, oh no! Are you ready? We have overindulgence. Oh goodness. This is a really beautiful card though, nonetheless. We pulled overindulgence. This is card number 18, and we have a cute little fairy with her foot kicked up, sitting in a wine glass with grapes by the side. So, obviously, this card is screaming, maybe don't drink too much wine, sweetheart. But what does that actually mean, right? This isn't a literal thing. When we drink, right, or when we see like a human being in like a life-sized like wine or martini glass, like I think they're called like champagne girls or something like that. But when we see that, it like the symbolism of that represents the overindulgence. And this could mean in anything, right? So this means an over excess, right? We are in a glass that we ourselves could drown in. This is something that's really important to pay attention to, because sometimes, and this is, I'm sorry, Rin, this might hurt a little bit, but sometimes the overindulgence comes in what we love at the expense of other things. I know that sometimes when I overindulge in my love for dragons and my love for creation and my love for meditation and, you know, crafting, guess what? Sometimes I forget to show up for the people in my life. Do you know what I mean? Like it's really just like that, simple. And it's something to really take into account, because I'm not going to be rude to anybody. Like, you are a human being. Like, we're all overindulging in some way. And this is just human nature, right? Like, I know a lot of us overindulge in social media. Hi, guilty. Like, you know what I mean? Like, some people, like, overindulge in the very, you know, literal way depicted here, like overindulging in alcohol. But it's not just alcohol. And the fact that it is a wine glass also represents the toxicity of the wine. And when we drink, we become toxic to ourselves and often to those around us, especially if we have no like moderation, which is exactly why we're struggling with like a overindulgence, right? So we are just, you know, doing the best thing that we can. And that is what it is, because overindulgence is really bad, guys. And I start to consume everything but myself when I'm running away from myself, when I'm trying to avoid something, when I'm trying to fill a void. Please pace yourself, because anything, even the stuff that you love, is not good when we overindulge in that. This is just life. Overindulgence in anything, my friend. Karisk fellow? Sorry, I hope I said your name right, but welcome to your daily dose of DragonFaether. But yeah, overindulgence in any way. You know? Like, it could be in alcohol, which is what's depicted in the card, or it could be overindulgence in social media, overindulgence in the things that you love, you know, like your passions. You can overindulge in them and forget your family. We see it all the time with rock stars. You really just have to take consideration. Yeah, need to stop avoiding the hard stuff. It's true, you know, because that's why we have each other. Also, you know, if you haven't joined us in the Hatchling clan, please do. We are the absolute coziest, most supportive community in the world. I have never found a better place. And yes, I'm biased, so I would love to see you there because we help each other through this shit, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of us are misfits and we only fit together. We're geeky, cheeky, and freaky that way, and that's why we have each other. And it's easy to overindulge when we're alone. It's easy to overindulge when we feel like people don't understand us, when we feel like we can't connect with people, when we feel like we are isolated through whatever it is. Oh, welcome, Me3. Good to see you here on TikTok. Yes, I switched my cameras this time. But yeah, guys, especially you, my darling Ren, like, it's just really something to consider. It might be obvious to not overindulge in drugs or something like that, but pace yourself. Like, be kind to yourself when you face the hard things. You go through hard things. Like, just own that and know that, like, help is available to you. Like, you don't have to suffer through that. Like, you're not a burden for that, if that makes sense. So that was a really, really deep one. But thank you so much for letting me pull for you, my darling Rin. And I hope that it resonated with you. What's worse, overindulgence or underindulgence? Well, they're both absolutely the same amount of bad in different ways, right? Like, the goal is to be balanced. Right, that's the secret third option when it comes to, I mean, if you talk to me, I'm gonna tell you the secret third option. That's just how my brain works. There's the polar opposites and then there's the balance. That is what I talk about, basically. So I hope that happens. Lol, I'm on both. Blah. Oh no, that's tripping me out. That's awesome. Thank you so much for the support on both platforms. But yeah, dude, it's just kind of, do be kind of wild like that sometimes. I've been hardcore hibernating in a hermit mood. I needed to get back to not hermiting. LOL. Thanks so much for the reminder. Love you so much. Of course, Ren. Yeah, like, it's just kind of also what I was, like, trying to remind myself with, like, the seasons too. Like, it's important to allow my body to rest when it's really, really cold outside, when I don't feel like the best, like, sometimes we get a lot of, like, winter colds, right? If I catch a winter cold, like, I really need to let myself chill out, and just, like, really go full on care mode, because, like, we have to take care of ourselves. Like, everybody needs to realize that, like, at the end of the day, like, even if you're, like, married, even sometimes if you have parents, like, at the end of the day, unfortunately, it's a really brutal lesson to learn, but we all are only responsible truly for ourselves. Ooh, it sucks. It's the worst thing ever. And it's a really sobering realization if you have to learn it the hard way. Some parents prepare their children for that, and some don't, because the only ones who are not responsible for themselves are the children who aren't able to take care of themselves yet. But that is a rant for a different type of live stream. But yeah. Well, underindulging needs to resonate with me. Underindulging me. Yeah, dude, honestly, like, it's true. Hold on, let me take a bite. For me, I know it gets bad. Like, I know I'm not, like, prioritizing the things I should be if I start craving Taco Bell. I don't really think I need to elaborate further. But yeah. I am gonna pull one more card for the collective right now. Actually, I'm gonna pull a card for myself. I actually don't think I've done that on a live before. The pickle. Let's do this one. Oh my goodness. This is one of my favorite cards too. Maybe the whole deck is one of my favorite cards. Gosh, guys. Sorry, it's just that good. I pulled the air element for myself, which is very fun. Yeah, I'll pull one for you next, Me3. But I pulled the air element, and looking at this, I've always resonated with the air element card in this deck because I personally am an Aquarius, which is an air element sign, but I've always just, like, loved the elements of water, ice, and air together. It's just, like, the three trio that's, like, been, like, a staple in my practice since I was, like, a very little kid. And this image of this, like, air fairy just, like, arms back outstretched, her feet pointed down with butterflies, and her wings are like down, like pointed down, like effortlessly. She's really just as if the air herself, floating as if the air herself. And I truly think this card is just a reminder for me, you know, to embrace being myself and float through whatever life takes me, you know, because when I have not chosen to float like the air element, you guys, oof, I get dragged, bro. Get set on fire and like drown a little. You know? Metaphorically speaking. Sometimes a little literally too, but unfortunately, it comes from a place of not choosing to be more like myself. You know, you don't have to be like an air element for this to like resonate with you or anything. It's not about that at all. It's just about symbolism in the sense of where we can draw connections and how we can see the wisdom and how things connect that way. That is like how the dragons truly teach me and have always taught me, is like read between the lines. You know, your eyes should be closed when you're reading. Something else I get told too. So there's that. Actually, I might really start taking that to the literal sense too, because it helps you like focus more, right? Like it helps you also connect better with the inner realm and the inside of yourself, because especially if you are somebody who floats along or who's what's called, I'm called an airhead all the time, by the way. They always call me an airhead, okay? But when you are an airhead, okay, sometimes you just have to let your head be in the clouds for a little bit and just take your time to come back down. Like it's not something about being dramatic, okay? You don't have to fly away, okay? Like that's not what it means to be an air element. Sometimes it just means to float, okay? I think a lot of people might forget that, the process of floating. I've never seen a floating spell, but I have a few in my grimoire. If you're interested, you can check me out on Patreon. I share my grimoire over on Patreon, but this floating is something that's free for anyone to know. You know, yes, air is whimsy. Yes, infinite ease, you're right. Air like breathing, exactly. Yeah, sometimes when I mean float, I literally mean pick a spot in your house and just stare at the wall and just breathe. Yeah, man, it's really that simple sometimes. So I'm honestly glad I pulled a card for myself because I needed that. I needed that remembrance. I needed that reflection for sure. You know, sometimes it can be really scary to sit with yourself and think about what you've been through and think about the hard times and think about where you are now and think about your responsibilities and think about the work you have to do and think about all of this. It's nonstop. But, and that's a huge asterisk, okay? The fine print is this. If you can find a way to talk to yourself in a way that's productive, in a way that's kind, in a way that grounds you and doesn't hurt your mind, that is the most important skill you will ever learn, how to talk to yourself. That's one thing my dad taught me when I was very young, and I'll never forget it. Because I got scared all alone. So I played with Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I played with Pokemon cards. And then I would just look at my favorite cards, sometimes for a really long time, and see where it takes me. Like, that is very much what my practice is. And some people, like I said, call me an airhead. You can let me know in the comments, but that is kind of a your perspective thing, all right? Because it ain't like that when I look at the cards, okay? I digress. We pulled, I can't, how many cards are in a deck, man? Can you guess the card I just pulled for you? I know I just pulled for me 3. I'm about finally 475 pages into my book. Okay, so yes. The water element pulled you this girly. Oh, she is just one of the best cards in the deck. So we just had the air element, subhanallah, we have the water element. What a beautiful artwork. Like, this card is so stunning. Look at the like kelp around her, and the shape of her fin is so unique. Like, I love it. And then there's a full moon behind her, or a pearl. That's up to you, or a bubble. So it could be whatever you want. But taking that into account, this is the time to focus on how it makes you feel. Okay, when I look at this art, especially the symbolism of like what a mermaid really embodies her symbolism, right? It's very much emotional based, very much like how do you feel? Like not even in a like how do you feel in an emotional way? Like no, like I'm talking about like how does it make the body feel? Like how does it make the heart feel? How does it make the mind feel? Like you have to ask yourself like about the organs, right? Like, and I know that's this is the weirdest answer, okay? But when you look at your work in all the ways that you do it in all the pages that you have, it's one thing to work and make it informational and to make it logical and to make it sound and it's study. But it's another thing for it to also be all of that and more. It needs to make you feel something. It needs to make your heart race. It needs to make, your mind feel like it's expanding. It needs to make your guts feel reassured. It needs to, also with the emotions, it needs to make you feel excited. Like how in the world can you work on your work if you don't feel excited? I know there's people out there who can do that, but I struggle with that. Like if I'm not like passionate about this, it's not gonna go well. Maybe you're not that way. Maybe you are that way. Either way, it's about focusing on how it makes you feel. Can you swim easily through it? Do you have certain kelp gardens that hide certain parts of it in a way that challenges you so it's not just spoon feeding, right? Because we're talking about literature here and about how we write a huge body of work that I think you said was what, 475 pages? I hope that was the right number. I'm trying to remember. It's a big number. But yeah, and also like when you strip it bare, because she's just a mermaid, right? When you strip it bare and there's nothing but you and the work, how does that make you feel? When you look at it, is this finished? Because the way I know something that's finished is when I look at it, my heart begins to race and I'm excited to begin sharing the process. So if it's not in that area, ask yourself, how can I get there? Am I finished yet? Is there something that I'm missing? Can I refine this part of the work? Can I make it better? Because ultimately, you'll never be finished with something like that. One thing that I learned being a musician and writing songs and being in recording studios and working with like huge producers, right? Like Grammy winning producers, you have to understand that it'll never be done. You can always improve upon the work. You can always improve upon the work. But if you always improve upon the work, you have no career, is what they would tell us. They were like, at one point, you have to decide when it's good enough for you. It's one of my best works so far, but still loads more to write, yeah. Then just like really take your time with it. Really, really get clear on the focus of why the work exists, too. You know what I mean? When we swim through the kelp forest, it's dark, it's cold. There could be predators hiding in the vines, but there can also be a mermaid guarding a pearl. This represents that when you go deep down and you lock in, especially when you pour your heart into it and you allow your feelings and your emotions to become entwined with it, that's when you enable yourself to find real treasure, a real true pearl in that process. But a pearl doesn't come unless you refine the sand over and over and over again in the dark. You got this, okay? That was a really fun reading, so thank you so much for letting me read for you. I think I'm going to take another bite, but let's see. I saw dragon and I'm a dragon theorist, so I clicked, but what is this? Oh, Natalie thought, and merry meet and welcome back to your daily dose of DragonFaether. I'm also a dragonkin, so it's always lovely to meet you. We would absolutely love to have you hang out with us in the Hatchling Clan Discord server. We're actually predominantly like dragon theorians and other kin, surprisingly. It's the first link in the description down below of this video. But guess what? You definitely came to the right place if you like dragons, because today we are having dinner and pulling some cards. We're doing dragon readings, but I don't do like readings like everyone else. The kind of readings that I do are for reflection purposes only, for remembering, for asking questions, because I feel like we fail to ask ourselves questions and really think about those answers, right? So that's kind of what we do here. I am going to take a bite really quick. Yes, they call it... What? Are you noodling it? Oh, are you noodling it? Yes. Like improv. Interested. I'm so... Okay. I'm interested. So I'm watching now. Oh, welcome, Natalie. It's so lovely to have you. How do you get started in dragon channeling? Well, first you need to know about the dragons. You know, it's really hard to connect with them if you don't know anything about them. I recommend starting with mythology all around the world and dedicating like 369 days to that, at least, to study these dragon myths, because they're everywhere. Yeah, it's actually kind of insane. And they are genuinely isolated in their creation sometimes. Okay, this means that some cultures independently developed dragon mythology without having any interaction with each other, and that is historically quite phenomenal. It's quite phenomenal. You know what I mean? I'm beside myself when I study it. It's called the Dragon Paradox. All right, oh goodness me, I have to tell you guys a secret. I don't care. I found the Dragon Paradox in these books, and before you judge me, let me just show you the page, because it is a book for children. Yes, disclaimer, this is a fantasy book for kids. But there's this world map, okay? And on this world map part of the book, you'll see the dragons, literally, my darlings. The dragons are kind of accurately placed on the map where they belong. Why? Why would they be doing all that? In a fantasy book for kids, are they hiding a little bit of the truth in the plain sight? Let me take it a step further, okay? This set me on a wild goose chase for the entirety of my existence, okay? So there is this page, one of the most iconic pages in the Dragonology series. And it says right here in a little tiny blip right underneath the fake amphitheater hide wing membrane, it says, the Mexican amphitheater almost certainly inspired the ancient Aztecs in their description of their god Quetzalcoatl. There is a dragon god mentioned in here by name, but it gets more complicated because this is presented as dragon study from the perspective of Dr. Ernest Drake. That's like the fake author. And it's very much like if like Charles Darwin like did evolutionary study on dragons in the wild. A really cool concept, but we really do kind of got that a little bit. It's a little bit racist. I know. Gotta own it. Okay? We do. It's a little cultural appropriative. Okay? You got a new sub. Oh, thank you, Natalie. Merry meet and welcome. Ooh, so kind of like Dinotopia, probably. Yeah. Do you use an athame or a bowline in your work? Yes, I do. I have some. They are in my other room though. But I do want to just emphasize that the little bits of truth in here set me on a goose chase. And when I actually found out that Quetzalcoatl came from the Aztec people, I realized that it's a feathered serpent, and many of the people have told me not to call it a dragon. So I make sure every time Quetzalcoatl comes up that we talk about them. So there's that. I think, hold on, my homie Baloney over here is needing some juice. That just means it needs a charge, guys. It's not that serious. Hold on, let me try and do this really quick. Oh, we're fine. Okay. Where was I? I'm gonna take a bite and then we'll pull a couple more cards probably. Steve Irwin Dragon Adventure would be so funny. God's rest his soul. Oh my gosh, Aquarian Dragon. I would love that. Dude, I love Steve Irwin with my whole heart and soul. He is just one of a kind. Oh, thank you so much for the follow. Leather Angel, that's amazing. Thank you so much for the follow. Okay, we're back, all right? I had to just collect myself. Okay. We're going to pull cards again. So we're going to be pulling, I think, maybe 2 more or 3 more before I do another collective reading to close it and then open the gift from the hatchling that I was sent. And we'll be on out of here for the night. So that's kind of what we're up to. But let's see, did we get any questions? Nope. It's definitely accumulation of my path. It reminds me of the sea. Oh, Mithri, that's amazing. Yeah, see, that is how you know it's a huge body of work, is when it feels as expansive as the ocean. But let's see, do we have anybody over on here? What you drinking? It is the Fruit Punch, Arizona. This one? Really good. Not sponsored, but really good. I just love, okay, anything that has to do with Arizona tea, I'm obsessed with it. Okay, so it's a 10 out of 10. May I ask a horse question? Yeah, Shirley. You can ask one. Oh, thank you, Tinley Ray. Tinley Ray, welcome back to your daily dose of DragonFaether, and thank you. We are just pulling cards here. We're doing some dragon readings and having some dinner. Just hanging out. Okie dokie Loki Panther behind. Oh my gosh, you guys are so much funny. I love all the comments you guys leave. They are so much fun. But anyway, let's see. I'm just gonna I felt like I saw somebody ask another question. Perhaps it was way back. Is Raven Silvermist still in the chat? It says, "Hi there, I'm sorry to ask, but would it be possible for me to get a reading? I'm going through a hard time and always love your advice. If not, no worries. Love all that you do." Excuse me, alhamdulillah. Oh goodness. We will see if she's back. If Raven comes back, we will read her. But we have, will my business improve with my clients this month? I teach horse healing classes and equestrian riding classes. Oh my goodness, Shirley, that's amazing. You want to know what's crazy? Look, the back of these cars have horseshoes on them. That's crazy. Okay, let's see. What's going on with the equestrian businesses? I just love equestrian anything. I think it is so fascinating, and I love horses. It's still on the bucket list. Would love a horse one day. Oh, we pulled this earlier, but I got the nightlight for you. I pulled the nightlight. I'll read you next, Raven Silvermist. So I pulled the nightlight, and this we pulled a little bit earlier in the stream tonight. But when it comes to this card from like a business perspective, it's about really thinking how you can do the best. It's like taking a pause. This is what this means with the nightlight. We see this fairy, she's vulnerable, laying in the dark, barely illuminated by a couple of lamps, and she's very much holding herself. If there's a sense of needing to feel security, then it has to be, you have to take some time to sit in the darkness and think, how can I make my business more secure? How can I make my business more profitable? How can I make it more streamlined? How can I make it better for my clients? How can I make it better for my horses? How can I make it better for even me, right? Like, we have to ask ourselves these questions, especially if we find ourselves hitting a wall, if that makes any sense. Do you know what I mean? Because it's really important to have that awareness, especially with animals like horses, right? Like horses are so unique, and they're not just like, a lot of people will say that like, oh, horses are just like livestock animals. Like, no, like they're very complicated creatures. They're very temperamental, and they're very fragile sometimes. Like if their like legs or anything gets compromised, they're pretty much down for the count. And like that's something that you don't want to ever be a problem. And a lot of that stuff starts when we're stressed and we're rushed and we don't have like a, what's it called? That streamlined order of operations. Take that time to sit in the dark by the nightlight and journal and really reflect on how can I improve this for everything? How can I streamline it? Where can I cut costs? Where can I invest better? Things like that. So thank you so much for letting me read for you. I love horses so much. I love thoroughbreds. Yes, they're so beautiful. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. But they're like a cat and a dog out together with ballet feet with the power of a dragon. That's a great way to describe a horse. They are truly some powerful creatures, that's for sure. That's for sure. Okay. I love your horns. Thank you. I wrote a song about them like almost 10 years ago, I think. And the song's called The Horns if you want to listen to it. It's on my YouTube channel. Where did your question go, Raven? I know it was there. Okay. Okay, here. Okay, I asked would it would be possible for reading. I'm going through a hard time and always love your advice. Okay. Let's pull a card for some advice for the hard times. I think that's a good idea. That's definitely a good idea. So here we go. That one, yeah. Oh, this is good. Oh, this is so cute. What? This is perfect timing. Okay, so we pulled card number 51, Whispers of Spring. This card is so pretty, isn't it? Look at these two fairies with the rosebuds just starting to bloom and a really gorgeous like lilac pink purple moon in the back. So this is the image of two fairies emerging with these like blooming buds, and they're very tiny plants, right? They look very new, very, very brand new. And the pink moon is really the symbolism of like the first bloom. Are you familiar with that? It's like it's not like right when winter thaws, right? But it's like after the ice and the snow thaws, and then it's the first like flowering. Right after that, we see that as the symbolic return of life to the earth. We see this as a time to rejoice because it's the sign of warmth again. It's the sign of the dark, cold winter being over. And our bones and our blood and our hearts and our souls don't forget how so many of us didn't survive the winter. We're very lucky to have shelter and to have heating and electricity now, and to have, better invented like clothes to keep us warm, and, many sorts of technologies to help us do the same in any case or scenario, right? This has drastically improved along with things like medicine and, again, the electricity with like the innovation of technologies to help people survive illnesses. It's really important to remind ourselves when we survive that darkness, it's important to celebrate it. It's important to allow ourselves to jump for joy and play and have fun. We need to allow ourselves to have fun when we realize that winter's over. Sometimes we have to choose that winter is over. Does that make sense? And with the Whispers of Spring, that is... Oh, I'm on live, baby.
Okay, I brought you baklava.
Ooh, thank you, Bubba.
You want it?
Not right now, though. Okay, thank you. He said he brought me baklava. I'm super excited. But The whispers of spring, my friends, please. Know that the whispers of spring are here. Right now, we're still in that little bit of darkness before it really starts to get warm again and we really start to see the first bloom, right? And the first bloom is truly the sign that spring is here. Because before that first bloom, after the snow thaws, that little interim, that little in-between period is where we hold our breath before we start celebrating. So allow yourself to hold out a little bit longer and ask yourself, have I really reflected? Have I allowed myself to hibernate within in this winter to see what needs to be cleaned out, what needs to be let go of before the spring returns and we start the new cycle of life? So thank you so much for letting me read for you, Raven. I hope that that helps, because in those dark times when we really are struggling and going through that rough patch, that can be considered an emotional winter. And that emotional winter must come to an end. You know, it must come to an end. So I'm so happy it resonates. You're gonna cry, it resonates so much. Oh goodness. Well, I hope that you are doing better, and please don't forget, okay? Don't forget that winter must come to an end, okay? Because it does, it has to. So that is all I have for me right now. We are done for the readings today. We will be back. We're trying to be back every Tuesday for these free tarot readings, and I will never message you for a reading. Please don't get scammed, okay? I offer free readings live. Whenever I do lives, I only do free readings. So if you catch me live, that's when I'm doing free readings, because not everyone can afford a book, like to book my, to book me over on Etsy. So I will not message you. If you want to book a reading, go message me on Etsy or go buy one of my readings on Etsy, because I'm not gonna be scamming you in your DMs. Please don't get scammed. Please don't get scammed. So yeah. Thank you so very much though. But let's get on into this package we have from a hatchling. I'm super excited to open this. I have to make sure that I don't get my address on the camera. So let's see. We are gonna just, I think, cut it off camera. Yeah, I think I'm off both cameras right now. Okay. So I'm just going to cut this here really quick, because I'm not trying to do any of that. That's just a little bit awkward. Don't wanna do that. But thank you so much for sending me the package, Ren. You're so sweet. What'd you say? Fair warning, love. The present is wrapped super overkill to make sure it didn't break. Okay, perfect. That's the way it's done. Oh yeah, you're right. This might take 2 seconds. Hold on. She's just struggling a little bit to open it. Hold on. Rin wasn't lying. It really is wrapped a little bit intense. Let's see. But yes, I used to have a P.O. box open, and I do have one, but we don't have it like publicly available anymore because I got some weird things in the mail, guys. I really did. So if you want to ship something to me, make sure you email me at thedraconicpriestess at gmail.com, because I don't really want to get sent random weird things. So let me know what you want to send. And you can send anything that's not weird. Okay. Okay, I'm sorry. I used to do magical mail on this channel like every so often. And some of the things were a little, well, they didn't make it into the cut of the video now, did they? Oh, I should see if I could go through my old footage and try and make a compilation of me pulling horrifying things out of the mail. I don't want to do that, guys. That would be so bad. That would be so bad. It just would be really bad. We are no longer doing the collective readings right now. I mean, the single readings right now, but we will be back next Tuesday, if not sooner, for that. But if you want more daily readings, I drop some in the Hatchling Clan Discord server. if you are interested in like some daily pulls. Rin, you really doing it with this one. Oh my gosh. Oh, you guys like my scissors? There's bees on them. I love them. My husband got me them. They're so cute. They have like little bumblebees on them. Adorable. Absolutely adorable. I'm really trying hard here, guys. This is like super sad. They were scary items you received? Yeah, I've like received cigarettes in the mail, like used cigarettes. I've received like really questionable jars of things in the mail. Yeah, it's been really bad, you know. So, it's really bad. Oh, so cute scissors. I know, they're absolutely, I adore them. They're so cute. I'm trying so hard not to like get this. Okay. All right, we did it. We did it, Joe. Okay, ready? We have it, all right. Oh my gosh, Rin, this looks insane. Insanely awesome. Okay, let's open this without getting anything on camera. Okay, I'm just gonna grab random things, all right? You did a really good job at packing this, by the way. Weird, used cigarettes? Seriously? What the heck? No, honestly, it was literally so awkward. I think I actually posted that one. It was a weird time. It was a weird time. It was like over 10 years ago. It was really crazy, man. Oh my gosh. But thank you so much for this. Oh my goodness. I have no idea what to expect. Okay. I'm probably gonna cry, Rin. You do things to me. Oh, this probably was just packaging. Okay, sorry. I'm trying, man. I'm trying real hard here. Okay, this looks like, oh my gosh, this looks like a candle. That's funny. Did you see me just open space? That was fun. Okay. This one, oh my gosh. What candle did you get? It smells so good. Hold on. Oh my gosh. Okay, hold on. I'm trying to open it. She really wrapped it so well, guys. Okay. Oh my gosh. This candle is so cute. Hold on. Oh my gosh, it's blue inside? Rin? Oh, is this the one? Wait, is this the one you made? Oh my gosh. It smells so good, bestie. This color is like literally the best blue ever. And this candle holder like oh my gosh, it has like little holes in it. So I'm sure when it like burns, like you'll be able to see the like blue light through it. That's so cool. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to set it up on the Tiamat altar. It belongs there for sure. For sure, for sure. Okay. And then that's it, yeah? Okay, just making sure I don't want to like, you really did a good job. Okay. 10 out of 10. Okay, let me tell you guys something. When you literally wrap things, and I have had businesses and brands, right? Like businesses and brands send me things and their things come broken because they don't take the time and care to literally wrap something. Like, I'm sorry, I have to review this because like there was literally cushion all around the box, so it didn't like crack, and it's good because this is like would have cracked probably. Rest is bubble wrap. Yeah, I'm so excited because I am always collecting bubble wrap. This is what we do, okay? Because I love to wrap things in bubble wrap when I ship them to people, so thank you so much, Rin. I absolutely loved it. And before we get on out of here, we're going to do one more collective reading, and then we will be catching you in the Hatchling clan because that's exactly where I'm going after this. We are probably just going to hang out in the Hatchling clan. I'll see if we could play Dragon Scroller. Maybe we'll play some Dragon Scroller. And then, if you guys don't know what Dragon Scroller is, it's our like roleplay research game where we like research dragons together. So if you want to like research dragon mythology with the Hatchlings and I in a roleplay research game that is made to basically feel like a retro dark fantasy, like old analog game from the 90s, and there's a droid that you interact with to get prompts of different sources to look through. So we'll be climbing through all of the sources together to find fact from fiction, to see the origin. Right now we're in the chapter of finding the true origins of Tiamat, so we will absolutely love to play Dragon Scroller with you in the Hatchling clan. It's the first link in the Discord below. Catch the hatch, as they say. I love you, Infinite Ease. Okay, that was a 10 out of 10 comment. 10 out of 10. Yeah, I absolutely love it. It's going to go right on my Tiamat altar. It's perfect, beautiful, and blue. Everything I ever needed in my life. And let me tell you something. Most people give me like candles that are like red or pink or like white. Blue. The blue candles, man. I love them. I think it's so underrated. But anyway, let's pull just one more card for the collective, the Dragon Collective, before we get out of here. And we are having just so much fun, man. I really like want to try and do like these readings free lives more often because they're just so much fun to do with you guys. So how did this happen? Subhanallah, we literally pulled the air element for the reading I did for myself, and then we pulled the water element for a hatchling, and for the collective I just pulled the earth element in this reading. Oh my goodness. I don't think we pulled the fire element, but I think I showed the fire element at the beginning of this live stream. I showed you the Phoenix card. I believe that was the fire element. But lol, first time on a stream though. I've been pulling for like 7 years. I've been going, oh my gosh, hell yeah! Thank you so much for being a part of the Hatchling clan and following along and supporting, because if it wasn't for people like you doing it for that many years, I would not be here right now, man. I would have thrown in the towel. I just would have moved on, but nah, man, thank you so much for supporting. But this is the card I pulled for the collective before we get on out of here, which is the earth element. And we have a fairy girl with a flower crown hanging out with a little butterfly that looks like it just like flew up off of her hands. And she has like a little flower like skirt around her. Excuse me, alhamdulillah. And there's like ivy leaves underneath her, and then like a full moon in the background. Oh, such a stunning, stunning, stunning card. The earth element represents the slowest element. It takes time to build strong foundations. It takes time to plant your roots. And the earth element is here to remind us to take the time to cultivate and plant our roots, not only within ourselves, but within each other. We have to trust each other if we cultivate a community, if we cultivate that community, right? Cultivating a community is about interlocking your roots so that you stand stronger together. That is what the trees do too. Shout out to the mangroves. First time on a live as well, been a follower for some time now. Many hugs to you. Oh, thank you, little darkling. So very sweet of you. Welcome to your daily dose of DragonFaether. That is so exciting, but this is also for you too, my dear. Like, it's about taking that time. And one thing that I want to also just kind of touch upon, let me just remind you guys something as a creator who's been on the platform for 14 years. I have seen channels rise and fall within the time of my YouTube channel, by the way. Like, they rise and die really fast, okay? And I would call that a fire channel, meaning that it catches really hard on fire, burns really hot, hard and fast and far, and then it dies really fast, right? Some channels are more like water, where they're fluid and they move from trend to trend and you just kind of see them everywhere, right? And then some channels are like air. They're just floating around, kind of doing random things, and then sometimes things pop off, and it's good. It's a good take to have. It's a good perspective to have. And then you have the earth channels that have been about a bit, and they take a long time to cultivate. And then after many, many years, they finally do like really, really well. I always tell not only fellow content creators, but also people who I brush elbows with at meetings or red carpets, I always tell them to take the time to cultivate your audience and take the time to cultivate your space and your presence and what you want to say. Because you don't want to be known for the wrong thing, right? You don't want to be known for like something that you're not even passionate about, right? Like, I am so in love with dragons, and if it wasn't for you guys always telling me that I should keep sharing my perspective and my love and the way that I work with dragons and the way that I cultivated systems with them, the way that I interpret them, the way that I see them, the way that I understand them and have throughout my lifetime, I would not be here today, and our community would not be what it is, and we wouldn't have done what we have. So I'm just so proud of all of you guys and us for growing together, and don't forget that those roots are not uprooted easily. And they're usually quiet. The earth is usually quiet and still. So many people don't even realize there's so much work to be done underneath the surface. So I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. Thank you guys for tuning in with me for just an absolutely amazing stream. I couldn't thank you enough. I am gonna go right to the Hatchling Clan Discord server to hang out and chat and share some fun stuff with the hatchlings if you want to hang out with us, or maybe even play our roleplay research game, Dragon Scroller, if you want to research about Tiamat and find the true origin of her myths. So we'll see you in the Hatchling Clan. It's the first link in the description down below. But until next time, stay geeky, cheeky, and freaky, little hatchlings. Ding. Thanks for tuning in live with me. I will see you next time. But Allah Hafiz, blessed be, and Ameen. And please follow me so we don't get lost, because everybody's lost. Everybody's